In this lesson, we're going to create our power-up script. Alright, so in the last lesson we had created our checkpoint system and also our dead zone. And now what we want to do is start getting some power-ups going. So let's go ahead and create a new C# script, and let's just call this power-up. Double click on that and open it up in MonoDevelop, and let's get started. So the power-ups are going to give us three different types of power-ups. We're going to have a projectile, a trap, and then also boost. So what I want to do is I want to create an enum variable. And let's just go ahead and call this public enum. And we're going to say power type. And here we're going to list the three types of power-ups that we want to use. So we're going to say projectile, and we're going to set this value to 0. And we need to do a comma at the end of this. And then we're going to do trap. And we're going to set this one to 1, comma. And then we're going to do boost equals 2. And then we're not going to do a comma on that one because it's the end of the enum. So below this, we want to go ahead and set the default power-up type. So we're going to say public power-up type, and we're going to set this to a variable name called power-up type. And then we're going to set this equal to power-up type dot projectile, and you'll see that listed there. Okay. Now below this, we're going to create a private game object, and this is going to hold the information of our player. So we're going to say player game object, and there we go. So the first thing that we need to do is in our start function. What we want to do is we want to set the player game object. So what is going to be colliding with these particular objects here? So we're going to say player game object equals game object dot find game object with tag, and we're going to say player. There we go. So whenever we start, we should have that information available. So now in our update function, or actually not in our update function, let's create a void on trigger enter function. And we're going to say collider other open close brackets. Okay. So here we're going to say if other.tag is equal to player, then we want it to do this. So if other.tag is equal to player, we want it to do this. So what do we want it to do if the power-up is touching the player? Well, let's just write a quick little debug.log and figure this out. So we're going to say we have a power-up. Okay, and I'm just going to write a quick little comment here. I'm going to say apply the power-up to the car. Alright, so that way I know exactly what bit of code I need to put in here. Once that has been finished, once we apply the power-up, we're going to go to a function, and we're going to go ahead and call it apply power-up. So we're going to say void apply power-up. So something like that. Open close curly brackets. And then let's do a switch statement here. So we're going to say switch power-up type. So it's going to be looking for the three different cases that we've set for our power-up type. So case power-up type dot projectile and then we're going to do colon. And then what do we want it to do if this case is met? So let's just do a quick debug.log and say we have a projectile. Okay, easy enough. And then after that we need to do a break, and then we're going to go into our next case. So let's copy this, and I'm going to do this 3 times. So Control V and Control V. So 3 times. We're going to do powerup type trap, and then we're going to say debug.log we have a trap, and then on the last one we're going to do boost, and we're going to say we have boost. Great. Alright, so now that we have this, let's hit save, and let's just do a little bit of testing. Let's see if we even have anything going first off. So let's go into Unity, and let's make sure that we apply our power up to our object. Now it's saying here powerup.player game object is assigned but is never used. Let's see, I created that. Now it's just a warning, we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's go to our prefabs and let's drag and drop in our prefab power up, and let's make sure that that's sitting pretty much on the ground, and let's put it up around here or so. And then let's hit play, and if we come in we can drive right into that power up, but nothing is happening. So why didn't that work? Let's take a look at our code and see exactly what is going on here. Well, first and foremost, I can't believe I forgot this, we need to add the script to the power-up object. Sometimes I even forget that, so don't feel if you've done the same. So our power-up type that we have is going to be a projectile by default. So now if we collide with that, we should get some sort of message, but we're not even getting that. So has to be an issue with what's going on. Let's check our tags, and right now the PFB player car is untagged, so let's set it to player, and then let's hit play, and let's try that one more time. Now we're getting it, and it's saying we have a power up. Let's go to our console and make sure that both of those messages played. Right now it's saying that we have a power up, but it didn't say what kind of power up we got, and it didn't say that we have a projectile. So let's take a look at our code and see why that didn't happen. And I already know why, and hopefully you've caught this. In the power-up script, you see that we have the function called apply power-up, but we haven't actually called it. So if the player collides with that, let's just simply call that. So we're going to say apply power-up, open close paren, and semicolon. Save that, and now we should be working perfectly. So we go in, and we collide with it. It says we have a power-up, and we have a projectile. So we've got a pretty good base going for our power-up script. And in the next lesson, we're going to continue working on that and push it even a little further.